Come on, let's go.
Hurry up.
I was grabbing a beer.
Welcome to Porch Talk, the podcast where some 20-somethings try to help you figure out your life as we figure out ours along the way. I'm Eric.
Ezra, Brockwood Elementary, class of 06, valedictorian.
Morgan, not a regular mom. I'm a cat mom.
Thank you guys for checking in with us. If you're watching it on Spotify and YouTube, definitely subscribe to the YouTube channel. Trying to get the views up there because no one's going there apparently, but it is what it is. Still got Spotify going strong. We have a lot to get into. It's kind of late. Morgan's had a long week. You can see it on her face if you're watching again on Spotify and YouTube. So
Absolutely see you. God damn.
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking about this earlier today, trying to drum up some topics, listen to some people talk about things. I think there's a certain point in dating, Morgan, maybe you can speak to this also. When you're dating someone and usually you end up spending a lot of time at one specific person's apartment. I think that's what eventually it happens. I don't know how it really gets decided or if it just kind of happens over time, but eventually it happens. At what point do you have to have a serious conversation if you're staying at someone else's place enough about either moving in, maybe you have to sublet your place to do it, or maybe like you just tell the person like I like you a lot, but I don't think we're ready for you to move in. When do you figure that kind of shit out?
I feel like we talk about it a good amount of times. Like, especially because I always bring my cats here now. So when I come over,
Jesus.
um, I'm just here for like a while. Like, I don't even remember the last time I was home, honestly.
No.
I
Running a
just pay I
loose
just pay rent there.
running a loose ship. Rule number one, your pets gotta stay where the fuck they came from. That's the first rule. If you gotta
He
go
wanted
home and
them.
if you gotta go home in the middle of the day to go check on them, be my guest. Can't be here.
No, he loves the cats. We have
Ugh.
their cat wheel here. We're already
Oh,
planning like a little
you got
cat
a
room in
drawer.
the attic. Yeah, I have a drawer. Um, we've been looking for like a dresser so I can put my stuff there. I actually have like this whole dresser to next to me.
Bro, just move in
Does he
already.
have
You're already
roommates?
moved in.
No,
Okay,
just
I was
him.
gonna say if you have roommates, it
Mm.
probably needs to come a little quicker because like at some point it's like, hey yo, like why your girl always here? And then you probably using water for showers, electrics, and then I gotta start doing some bill calculation in my head. But if you don't have roommates, like I don't even really know if you ever have to really talk about it. I feel like it kind of works itself out when one of your leases ends. If things is going the way Morgan and hers is, and she there all the time, when one of the leases end, I assume one of them is just going to move in with the other, and then the only real conversation is like what places we moving into, and it's
Well,
probably the one that you at the most.
yeah, and the good thing is I rent a room in a house full of other people, so it's just easier for me to come here. Like, obviously, the plan is me to come here. It's like no question about it. And I also don't have a
Mm.
lease, so it's like whenever we decide is the right time, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Morgan's
if you
just
got
waiting to be asked.
I was gonna say if you got roommates, you definitely can't like we're not hanging out there. If you got one who don't and one do, like it would make no sense for me to go over there. But also, you not having a lease might be like more detrimental to the process. Because if you had a lease, it can be like, damn, her lease ended in June. By then, we'll just do it. With you not having a lease, it's like the pressure is kind of on to like, why am I paying rent over there with roommates when I'm never there? So now the ball in his court to like be like, yo, you moving in or not, shorty?
Yeah. Well, also the other thing is like my roommates, because I rent it. My JP like owns the house, but he's Haitian, and like they're gonna start having like some of his Haitian family from like Haiti like start like just using rooms in the house, like renting them like temporarily.
Mm-mm.
And so yeah, it's just it's definitely easier to come here.
You should have just lied and be like, "Listen, man, my lease is coming up end of the month. What are we kind of doing here? Do I need to move in? Do I need to find somewhere else? Like, what are we?"
Well, honestly, we're boyfriend and girlfriend now, so I'm not trying to rush that. It will happen. I'm sure it won't take long, but I'm fine with not.
Yeah, honestly, like that do kind of escalate the process because you're like still early on boyfriend and girlfriend. I feel like it's probably like inside of 6 months. I feel like if you move in too soon, it's like in the back of both of y'all head, like if anything ever come up, you can then start to think like, did we rush this? And there's probably
Hmm.
no need to rush living together. You already hang out, you already at a spot all the time. And even though you're there all the time, you still don't actually live there. So you got like a space to go back to and like decompress and shit. Move in together and
Yeah.
you'll never have that shit again.
And it's his place. So like God forbid he broke up with me and I moved here,
You
then
back on the streets.
I
It's Sam and
am.
Philly all over again.
Yeah, like I think he would
Damn.
actually like steal my cats too.
Damn.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's a cat daddy now.
Probably just Prince.
No, him and Sweet Cheeks have a cute little bond.
Uh,
Uh-uh.
Yeah.
Oh, I had a joke kept this to myself. I'll text you guys later about it. The only issue is like, do you think it depends on how much rent? Like, I don't know how much rent you're paying right now, Morgan, but I feel like if you were paying a significant amount of rent to not be there, I'd be like, listen, we gotta have a talk. I think that might speed up in my mind. If I'm paying X amount of dollars, I'm like, listen, we gotta figure this out soon.
Uh,
I don't
I'm
want to pay this if I'm not gonna be there.
I'm only paying 500 a month.
See, that's easy. You're
yeah,
like,
but like
whatever, that's nothing.
500 a month, what it could be going towards splitting Don's rent or groceries or extra activities. It's like, why
Trust
the fuck am
me,
I paying rent if I'm not there?
I do think about that. But what can you do?
But she might be farther
Nothing.
away from her job, and you know she loves her job.
I know, it is convenient like that I can just walk to work. But no, I don't love my job.
She
How
lives for it.
far is his place from your job?
It's only like 10 minutes.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
that's
not bad at
nothing.
all.
And he like where he works is so close to where I work too. So
Hmm.
we could carpool if he really wanted.
I don't think you're
Except
waking up as
except
early as he is.
yeah, he goes to work at like 6, so never mind.
Mm-mm.
Dang,
Yeah,
that late? Fucking
I know
lunchtime by
another
that point.
couple who's was that?
I said 6 o'clock. It's a damn near lunch by that point.
Yeah, I know another couple who they've been dating, and then it was kind of same situation, like spending a bunch of time at one person's place, and the girl's like trying to sublet her apartment now because of her lease, and I'm like, man, like
Mm.
you know you're deep in it when you're like, I'm just gonna sublet and just gonna move in full time. It is what it is. Kind of crazy.
Honestly, I think subletting is like such an underrated, I guess, like concept. I feel like if I still had my place or if I had an extra place and was in that situation, I would 100% sublet that bitch. I would sublet it. I would definitely sublet it a little more. And then at the end of the day, long as it's someone I trust, I always have that spot. I would absolutely sublet that shit. And you have extra storage. You can be like, you can use some of that part, some of that other place as like storage. Like let them know, like, yo, can't use this closet or can't use this room, and you're only subletting them like the rest of the place. I would definitely do that shit.
I remember when I took over the lease, but like not illegally took over the lease in Georgia. And I moved in with these two sisters and they were so trifling and like dirty. And when it was time to move out, they like their rooms were trashed to the point where they they were trying to charge the lease owners $3,000. And
What?
I was like, there's no fucking way I'm paying that because of these bitches. And the girl who like I was illegally subletting for, like kept contacting me, was like, you three need to pay this. And I was like, I just blocked her on everything because there's no way I'm paying this. And she couldn't hold me liable for it because I wasn't on the lease.
Hey, shout out! Don't put your name on anything.
Yeah. And if you're subletting to someone else, definitely make sure that you get their name on it because,
Oh yeah, I was about to say.
yeah, it was dumb on her part.
Yeah, just get a little subletting contract. Is what it is.
But mind you, that girl had also lived there for like, in that apartment for 4 years. And
Damn.
so she definitely was, I'm sure, like in charge of some of that. Like the carpets. She had like four dogs
Oh,
when she moved in. So, like the carpets, I'm sure it wasn't all just the other roommates.
too many dogs for an apartment. Way
Yeah,
too
that's
many.
actually
Yeah.
crazy.
All
Oh
right.
man.
Let's see. What else do we have? What's harder, holding yourself or holding others accountable?
When was that the
Um,
question? Oh yeah, that was
Myself.
the question.
Hmm.
Yeah, I definitely will get upset with someone else about not being accountable rather than myself. I'll be like, oh, whatever, I'll do it tomorrow. But if I have a deadline for someone and they don't do it by then, I'm like pissed off.
I'd probably say others. I'm more. I'm probably one of. Sheesh, this is gonna sound bad. I'm probably one of the more organized people you'll meet. So I don't really have a problem holding myself accountable. And then I also think over time there was like a period of my life for a good little bit where I was told time and time again that I was unapproachable or like kind of dickheadish. So I think I might let some shit slide now. I definitely think I hold myself accountable better than I hold other people's accountable.
Hmm. Yeah, I think
And
it's
some of it
easier to
is
hold
like out
myself
of like
accountable.
trying not to be an asshole. So like in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna let this shit slide, so I'm not being a dick.
Oh, see, I don't mind being an asshole.
Hmm.
Tough.
Yeah, I think holding myself accountable is a lot easier. It's just like you know what you need to do, so you can do that. But I don't really have to hold other people accountable, so it kind of makes my life easier for the most part. Shout out.
Yeah, definitely not work related because work related, I'm an asshole. Like it's part of the job. But like in regular life, I would say others. And when I'm thinking about holding people accountable, I'm probably just thinking like, ah, I got certain friends that I know they're gonna be late to every function. I know we can have dinner at 7. They're not gonna be there until 7:45. I know we can make plans on Friday that ain't gonna happen Friday, and we're gonna have to push them to Saturday before I make the plans. So it's probably shit like that where I could be like holding niggas more accountable, or even some family members where it's like, come on, man, like you told me you was gonna have this done 2 days ago. Why the fuck ain't it done yet? So
I
shit like that.
agree. It's definitely different, like work related. Like obviously, as a manager, I have to hold people accountable. Um, but definitely in like personal life, sometimes it's just better to kind of bite the bullet and not even start some shit with people. Like I know I'm not gonna be late to plans, but I definitely have friends that are always fucking late. And at that point, I'm like, I'm the idiot because I should have just gotten ready later and been late myself.
It's
I think
crazy
that
that
sometimes
we accept that.
yeah, I was like, I can't stoop to that because, like, at that point, I got a nigga who's got a friend who's always late to where they tell him like an hour 15, an hour and a half later than the plans, and then he still be late. And it's like, bro, this is not high school. Like, niggas got shit to do. I'm not going through the hoops and the dances of telling you a time an hour and a like now I'm playing your game and I'm still losing. Like, there's no way. Either you get here where the reservation is, or nigga, we eating without you, and we might be done by the time you get here.
Yeah. If we can sit down and eat, I'm definitely not waiting for someone who's gonna take forever to get there.
I'll probably give you
I'll give you
20.
20 minutes.
I was about to say, I might give you 20 to 30 minutes before ordering food. I'm going to probably get drinks already. You got 20 to 30 minutes and food's going to get ordered. And then I'm going to just eat without you.
Yeah, uh, you shouldn't have to wait. It's crazy. I think that's probably something that we should be holding more people accountable
Oh,
for.
yeah.
Being late for sure.
Can
Especially if
we?
it's a place where you can't sit down
Mhm.
unless the whole reservation is there.
Those are the worst, though. Come on, like, grow up.
I know, but honestly, like, if we're in a group chat and we keep explicitly saying that everyone needs to be there and you knew about these plans for like weeks and you're still showing up 30 to 40 minutes late, that's just so disrespectful.
Yeah.
I agree. Absolutely disrespectful. Have two small caveats off of this. The first one, work related. If you're like interviewing or meeting with a boss or some shit like that, should we be holding them just as accountable? Because if it's one thing I hate, it's taking the time out my day as a pretty senior manager in a position that I'm in to then meet with more senior executive managers, and then these niggas is 30 minutes, an hour late. Like nigga, if you put this, if this shit is on my calendar, it says 1 o'clock. You're not here until 1:27. You got 3 minutes of my time until I have other shit I need to get to. I'm not waiting fucking 45 minutes when we had a scheduled meeting.
Yeah, once I had a Zoom interview once and the person showed up like 10 to 15 minutes late on Zoom and I
Mm-mm.
was like, if this were me, I would definitely not be hired like right
Yeah,
away.
no chance. That shit is irritating, and it happens way more than you would think. That shit is bozo shit. Last one on this. Vince Staples show is out. That shit is actually solid. It's real short. It's kind of like Atlanta. He was in an interview and they asked him just random questions, and they asked him if he thought it was easier to hold himself or for niggas nowadays to hold themselves accountable or to read. Which do y'all think it is? What do y'all think people are doing more? Holding themselves accountable or fucking reading?
Holding themselves accountable.
Yeah. I mean, as someone who reads, struggles to read 5 books a year.
I agree. I agree. That's what he said. He was like, niggas don't be reading. I agree. I don't think niggas read enough. Like, you're probably holding yourself accountable more than you're reading, for sure.
Yeah. Listen, some people can't grow like I can. I'm not trying to brag. I'm almost done the second book of the year out of 5, and it's only February. So shout out.
Facts. We
That's
need
it.
book reports on these. That's what the fans are asking for. Book reports. Book reports.
Yeah, I'll bring one. I'm gonna finish this one by the end of February. Even though I did forget that February is always the shortest month because of racism. Clearly.
Uh,
Um. Okay, let's move on. Thoughts on emotional addiction? What does that mean?
oh my gosh, I was hoping somebody looked into this
I did
because,
not. I was busy at work today.
bro, your phones be like hacked. I was watching the podcast and they was talking about emotional addiction, and then I was reading a Riddick story, and that was the first one that came up. The definition of emotional addiction. Um, a state where there is a dependency, as the name indicates, on some emotion, or more specifically, the chemicals produced by the brain when a particular emotions are triggered. So, emotional addiction is like you're dependent on certain emotions.
Mm.
Do, do you think that could be like, for example, someone who likes thrills and they like maybe fear and the adrenaline rush, like something like that, or maybe they like being happy when they're high, so that's why they smoke a lot to feel happy or relaxed?
Maybe some examples, because I don't 100% know. Some examples, an emotional addiction can be a constant need for reassurance. They are addicted
Mm.
to reassurance. Jealousy. They are addicted to being jealous.
I was thinking
Loneliness.
like Sam was addicted to being miserable.
Can we not like? We're not gonna stand for Sam slander as the biggest supporters of Sam. Um.
Yeah.
Shout out, Sam.
Yeah. Fuck that bitch.
So yeah, those are like some quick emotional addictions. There's quite a few. Um. My initial thoughts on it was like, damn, we are just creating new made up terms to like define shit that don't really exist. I guess there's a slight chance, like, sure, niggas are jealous, niggas are lonely, niggas be needing reassurance. Do we need a term? Do we need emotional addiction to be a term? Probably not. I think we're kind of gassing it at that point.
I think it's just called mental health issues.
Are we calling somebody with emotional addiction mentally unwell or
Yeah,
mentally
I
ill?
am.
Hmm.
Huh.
Because, like, if you like to be jealous all the time, that's definitely some mental issue.
Is that mental? Or is that personality?
Or it's like a sexual thing.
Huh?
Well, if they're like jealous of like their partner talking to someone, like maybe it gets them off. Maybe that's where like it really boils down to.
Oh, one of those kinky Jones.
Yeah, I'm big in that to mental health.
It may be. I'm
Probably.
not sure. There's a chance it could be. I don't know if it's tough because like I feel like mental is supposed to be on paper like chemical type shit. Whereas like, do you think there's a chemical unbalance that causes you to be jealous, or like you just a petty jealous bitch?
Probably. Honestly, probably.
If you're
Huh.
addicted to it, yeah. Or like even if it was to being happy, like yeah, maybe the
Yeah,
so much serotonin is released and you're just like a fucking happy psycho all the time.
yeah. Get that person away from me.
Yeah.
I think emotional addiction's kind of bullshit. I kind
Yeah,
of like
I
what you were
agree.
saying, Ezra. I almost think it should be like if you can't easily figure out what it is, either by just the concept of the term or like a really quick high level Google search, probably not a real thing. But that's probably not a great way to go about life. So I don't know.
Nah, I agree. I'm putting that into effect now. Oh god.
All
Wow.
right, let's see. Just because something is the norm doesn't make it normal. What are some things that come to your mind when you hear that?
Poverty. Poverty. That's the very first thing because I feel like it always be them niggas who are like, I didn't know I was poor until I got out the hood. And it's like, damn, that was your norm, but nigga, you was poor. Like that is not normal. So poverty, the first one, and then fucking meals, like different food, different people eat. It's like I know somebody who said they was eating tuna helper, like hamburger helper with tuna. I'm not eating no hamburger helper. There's no way I'm eating tuna helper. So it's like, huh? Depending on where you grow up, that could have been normal for you, but that is not normal across the world. Can't be.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That just the food one just made me think about when my mom was growing up in Puerto Rico. They were pretty poor, and like they would be grubbing down on like chicken hearts, chicken livers. Like she would fry it up in the house. I'm like, hey, you don't make that kind of like you make money now. You don't have to eat this stuff anymore. Like we can
Yeah.
we can eat normal just chicken. We don't need the hearts and the livers on
Yeah.
fried. Like we're good.
I've been telling my parents that because I got old parents, Asian niggas. Well, my mom now, Asian niggas' grandparents. She be eating chitlins and pig feet still. I'm like, hey, like slavery was a thing, but it's not no more. Like, get a grip.
Yeah, like my family on my black side for breakfast will eat like
Fucking
sweet
scrapple.
rice
Scrabble.
You
and
said
sweet
what?
rice. And
The
so it
fuck
will
is
be
sweet
like,
rice?
well, we'll put like sugar or like brown or like cinnamon and then milk.
It's like oatmeal, but rice.
Yeah, and I had it all the time. And then when I went to college, everyone was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Because I would like go to the like little like Trabant or something at
Mm.
UD and have rice and then put sugar in it. Everyone's like, "You're fucking weird."
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. If I seen somebody do that in front of me, my immediate thought would be they came from the slums. That house was poor as fuck.
Oh my gosh, you should try it. It's delicious.
No, it doesn't sound terrible because I like rice pudding, so it's not like too far off from rice pudding. Rice pudding is really just like sugar, milk, and raisins. So
Yeah, like I used to go to like people's houses and they'd be like, "We're having rice," and if it was like Mexican rice or something, I'd be like, "Fuck." What am I supposed to do
uh,
with this? Now I like
Just eat
Mexican rice, but
Just eat it. Just eat. God, there's
ooh.
such a good thing about bullying that'll just make you be like, whatever you thought was normal, you're just like, oh, I can't do this anymore because I will just
Oh
get
yeah,
roasted every time I'm near anybody. Got it.
absolutely. Yeah, because I would bully a nigga. I saw doing
Morgan, when's the last time you've eaten sweet rice?
that.
I wouldn't say too long ago.
Hmm.
mm.
My roommate sometimes will make rice and I'll just put some sugar on it.
Do you try to put them on like, yo, put a little sugar, try this, like you'll enjoy it.
Nah, they're like Haitian, so I'd probably get booed out of the house.
Yeah, they fucking putting spices on their rice. Uh,
Yeah. Which is good. Like now I'll eat that too, but definitely. Like my even my white side, when my mom would make rice, I'd be the only one doing that. It was
You
definitely just
never
the
thought
black
like
side
anything
thing.
of it either. You're just like, it's just normal.
Yeah, and my mom would like even serve it up to me that way. Like I was just the
Damn.
only one. Especially when
when
the
I
milk's
was,
hot.
that's nasty, nigga. You're getting gross. You're getting
Like
gross.
some hot milk and sugar. And
Bro,
then you put
That's
Don's
some
gonna be
butter
so
in it.
mad. He's gonna come home from a long day of work. Morgan's gonna be like, I made dinner. It's just fucking sweet rice.
ugh.
Yeah,
That's like
don't
those
knock
people
it
who
till you
put
try it.
ketchup on everything.
Ooh.
That's yeah, can't do that.
One of my coworkers puts ketchup on her steak. She's like, I can't eat steak when I go out with anyone because they'll definitely look at me. And I'm like, yeah, that's fucking childish.
You can't do
I know
that.
a nigga who dips his steak in ranch, and it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you, bro?
What?
Yeah. If
Um,
I'm being honest,
it's mental
I
health.
I'm not a big condiment person in the first place. I would be okay with taking. I had that list of what we need to take away from niggas.
Mm.
Condiments are high on that list as well, because like the things I've seen some niggas do with condiments just get downright disgusting. And it's like I'll eat this shit with no condiments before I sit here and watch you do something just heinous.
Yeah, unless it's
Mm-mm.
like salad or I don't know, some type of like side food that requires dipping, like chicken or french fries. Even with potatoes, I don't really use ketchup
Yeah,
that much anymore. But the older I get, the less privy I am to use condiments. It really freaks me out.
yeah, not a big condiment guy.
I was thinking about some other norms with food stuff.
Hmm.
I've come around. Ezra used to make fun of me for doing this. Speaking of that, I'm not as much of a sweets in the morning for breakfast anymore. I need something a little heartier. Like I think we at a certain point you got to stop eating super sweet things for breakfast. It's just not a good move. You never feel as good. You just need a nice hearty breakfast, some protein, maybe a little gravy if you really need it. That's where I'm at now.
Hey,
Mm.
I support that. I'm also not a sweet person for breakfast. Clearly, I remember the first time I ever went to Perkins was with you. I think we was in fucking. We was in. What was it? PA. We was in PA because we were supposed to go see Rob. We did go see Rob, and fucking Jesse wanted us to bring like the grocery store with us for dinner. And I was like, "What the fuck? You invite us to dinner and then tell us to bring the groceries, the pans, the seasonings?" Um,
Insane,
and for the first time in because my family doesn't really eat sweets. I never really grown up around people like sweets for breakfast at least. And this nigga ordered chocolate chip pancakes. I was like, nigga, are you like 10?
bro. The I don't know if they still do it, but Perkins Family Restaurant. It's like a chain, obviously. The tremendous 12 at breakfast was like $6 or $7. You got a stack of pancakes, like eggs, whatever you want, like and like the breakfast meat and like potatoes. It's an insane deal. It was fantastic. I ate those on a semi regular basis.
That is a crazy deal.
I like berry pancakes.
Mm.
I mean, I won't shun I'll still eat some pancakes every once in a while, but dude, oh, we had some good bacon, egg, and cheeses the other weekend. I was like, this is just fantastic.
If
See,
I
I'm
had
not
any
huge into
pancake,
eggs.
I'm not big on eggs either, but a bacon, egg, and cheese, like any breakfast sandwich, I can fuck with in the morning.
I had a sausage, egg, and cheese the other day, and it was pretty good. But it really depends on who's making the eggs.
I
Oh
was
yeah,
gonna say I'm
definitely.
picky on the egg. I don't want like a fried egg. I don't want the fucking dippy egg. Just give me like a scrambled egg.
Oh my god, Don made a poached egg for me the other day,
Damn, you can
and
like.
I was not for it.
Oh, you don't
It
like poached eggs?
poached eggs? No, it was my first time ever having a poached egg. And like made it wasn't like too bad, but like I love hot sauce. So he
Mhm.
put hot sauce on it for me. And like the hot sauce with the poached egg, I like thought I was gonna throw up.
Mm-mm.
I like a good. Benedict, so I like a poached egg. But poached eggs are hard to make, I hear. So you got to have some talent in that pan.
Oh, that man is great.
That's why
Great in the
Morgan's not
kitchen.
leaving. He's like the gravy train. He does it all.
He
That's what it sounds
does.
like for real.
Yeah.
Before we get into our next topic, we wanted to give a quick shout out to the sponsor of this week's episode, Zencastr. When we first started recording PorchTlk, we were using whatever rinky-dink setup we could, but we realized we needed to step our game up to a legit setup, and that's where Zencastr came in. It's now super easy to record a podcast with Zencastr. Log into your browser and start recording a high-quality podcast right away. Record studio-quality sound and up to 4K video with your guest. Feel a sense of zen knowing Zencastr's multi-layered backups ensure you always have your recordings in the highest quality, even if the connection is unstable. Trust me, I know. If you have thought about podcasting before and realized that you need a lot of different tools and services, those days are over. With Zencastr's all-in-one podcasting platform, you can create your podcast all in one place and distribute it to Spotify, Apple, and other major destinations. Go to zencastr.com/pricing and use our code PorchTlk and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. We want you to have the same easy experience we do for all our podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story, and honestly, they have a free plan too if you need it. Just as good. Shout out to Zencastr, and let's get back to the episode. All right, Morgan was talking about side dishes. We're talking about breakfast. Let's just get into this week's top 5. We are doing the top 5 side dishes.
Mm.
Whatever you consider a side dish, I guess we'll find out.
Okay. Excuse me. Stuffing. My number one is stuffing. Stovetop stuffing. Unbeatable side dish to me. Number 2, rice. Rice is such a great dish. Not none of that weird sweet bullshit. But
That sweet
rice is such a
rice.
good,
I'm going to
quick
put sweet rice for you. Don't worry.
That's such a good, quick, easy side dish. 3, I'm gonna go with fries. Like you can't go wrong with fries. They're a side to a lot of things. The fourth one is going to be broccoli because you got to get a vegetable in at some time. Broccoli is probably my go-to vegetable. It's either that or asparagus.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go broccoli. And then this one is kind of a flyer. A lot of niggas probably don't have it as often. Baked beans. Baked beans done right is a solid side.
Yeah.
And I want to put this out there. I will let niggas know if some things are mentioned that are not sides. So I'm listening.
You're running a tight ship today?
Tight ship.
One, I was gonna say mashed potatoes.
Okay.
2, broccoli.
Hmm.
3, mac and cheese.
Not a side.
It is a
That
side.
is not a side. That's a main dish.
No, it's
No,
not.
it's a side.
You can
If
get
if you look
places.
on menus, it's under sides.
Hell
Oh,
no. Places serve whole mac and cheese as the meal. You
Okay,
can't
but
go.
you can
You
get it
can't
as a
go
side.
anywhere and get mashed potatoes as a meal. You can get mac and cheese as your meal.
no,
Yeah, you can also get it as a side.
mashed
Nah.
potatoes, fries, poutine,
I
like all
li-
that stuff. You can get it.
I literally got
That
it mac and cheese as a side today.
Would you
Um,
trust somebody to bring mac and cheese to the cookout that's only making sides? You give that to a main cook.
whatever. 4, um,
I knew she was gonna say it.
Brussels sprouts, and then 5, I'll go. Mm, it's a toss up. I'm gonna go French fries.
I'm not
The
gonna lie.
lack of confidence as you said that.
Because it
That
was
was a
really a
solid
toss up
list.
between that and green beans.
Mm.
But I love green beans, but also, like, again, it really depends on who's cooking them. I
Yeah.
think French fries are a little less harder to fuck up.
That was a solid list of 4 sides of one man. I'm not mad at that.
All right, my number 1, fries. Everybody knows I'm a big time fry guy. Went out to dinner on Friday, got some fries. Couldn't eat. I finished my dinner, was full. Still had room for fries. It's the greatest thing of all time. Number 2, how to embrace my Spanish roots. White rice with beans. If you know, you know.
Mm.
That's a solid one.
Number 3, I'm also going to ride with mac and cheese. That's why I laugh so hard.
Not a side.
Clearly a side.
Definitely
Think
not.
about when you go get barbecue. What is mac? They give you mac
Right.
and cheese as a side.
I don't.
Like ribs,
I
ribs and
don't.
mac
Yep,
and
I don't eat
cheese.
mac and cheese with barbecue.
you're missing out.
Yeah.
Number four, I thought I was gonna get away with this one, but you guys all put it on there. Broccoli. I mean, when you have good broccoli, it's like incredible.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And number five, homemade dinner rolls. Can't go wrong with a good little side, little different vibe. I know I
Come on,
switched it
man.
up,
Yeah,
had to go a little outside the box
I
there.
like that.
yeah, it was solid.
Honorable mention. This one's for Ezra. Sweet potato casserole.
Oh
Ooh.
my gosh, that's
Ooh.
disgusting.
Oh, honorable mention, green bean casserole.
Oh god.
Yeah, niggas is like truly sick.
Honorable
Um,
mention greens, collard greens.
ooh.
Collard greens for sure. I would definitely
Honorable
throw
mention, sweet
cornbread.
rice.
No, I would
No.
definitely throw cornbread up there. Cornbread is also
Oh,
a
I love
solid side.
cornbread.
Yeah,
I almost thought about one point of putting biscuits on there, but I feel like I
Ooh,
have way more biscuits that don't hit that than do hit, which is very
that's true.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
Um, Real ones only. We can get into this one. I think it'll be a little quicker episode today. So again, me and Anna went out on Friday for Valentine's Day. Nice little restaurant, good little vibes. We're sitting down, talking, kind of sitting there a while, like looking around, see all these waiters walking by. I'm like, is this like an anti-black thing? Like, what's going on? We're not getting any service. Is this like interracial couple? Guy comes over. He's just like real short. Like, all right, like you guys want drinks? Like blah blah. Blah. I'm like, I don't like this. I was like, maybe he was just in a rush. The whole night, he's just like real short, no smile on his face. It looks like he doesn't want to be there. And it just got me thinking, like, I know everybody has hard days, everybody has bad days. But when you work in the service industry, you have to fake it. Even if your day is
Yeah.
shit, fake it until you make it. Cause I was like, I don't want to give this guy a good tip, but I also feel like when you're a minority out, you have to give a good tip because then people don't expect it. So then I want to make them like you should have been better. But I was like, this is bullshit. Like we shouldn't have to deal with this. If you're gonna work in it, fake it till you make it. Be nice.
The exact same thing happened to me and Mariah on Valentine's Day. I agree. There are certain jobs where like you can't have bad days. Firefighter can't have a bad day. EMTs can't have bad days. Waiters whose livelihood depends on me giving you a tip can't have a bad day. Like I don't get it. And then I feel like it's always on shit like this. Like it was Valentine's Day weekend for you. It was Valentine's Day for me. Of course you're slammed. That's a day where you're
Mhm.
supposed to make money. Have a good fucking attitude so we can give you some money.
Yeah, like where we went, it was $95 per person.
Ooh.
It was a set menu. And it was such a great menu, but one, our reservations, like we made reservations at 8. I don't think we got sat until like 8:20, and it was already a
Mm.
late dinner. I was fucking hungry. There was no, they were like, you can go stand by the bar, we'll come get you. We went to the bar. There was like nowhere to stand.
Mm.
Like we're like awkwardly just in the way. And then we finally get sat, and our server, like, must have had a lot of tables, but we barely saw him. And like the food, it was fine, but um, if he would have just checked in on us a little more, at least it would have been a better experience. Like they brought out for people sat after us, and this one table they got their food before us, and we're
Mm-mm.
like, interesting. And then this girl walks up. I see it's our fucking desserts. And I'm like, did they just like forget to put in our entree? And then he
Oh
came
god.
over and I said that. He was like, oh, I know, I'm sorry. Your food should be out shortly. And I was like, okay. And then I wanted another drink. And it took him forever. Like by the time he came back, I didn't want another drink. We were about to go.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Yeah, no, that's I don't know what they got going on because honestly, the same type shit happened to us where we got there. We probably had to wait like 10 minutes to sit. I'm not gonna lie, like that kind of is irritating to me. I get it, like you do gotta wait for like niggas to get up, but don't give me an 8 o'clock reservation. Then I gotta wait 5, 10, 15 minutes. Cause if the tables was turned, if we was 10, 15 minutes late, our spot's gone. So like that shit's
Mm-hmm.
irritating. That shit's irritating. And then the shorty was like, "You can go stand by the bar and wait." She was like, "You can go grab a drink at the bar and wait, but there's probably no room." And I was like, "Then why the fuck would you suggest that?"
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I truly think Valentine's Day night dinners are a scam, and you're just better off going either a day before or a day or two after. Like you just, I mean, listen, we didn't get good experience like or treatment that day, but at least it wasn't packed and the food came out quick. Like at least that's decent.
Yeah.
Other thing we have on here: chores or tasks you did as a kid to build character that you look back on now and you're like, that didn't really do anything for me. I remember one of the chores I had growing up. I had to vacuum the stairs. Why? I don't even what did that do? Like that was bullshit. I hated it. It was just no parts of that.
I didn't really have chores.
No, it
That's how
shows.
you ended up this way.
Yeah,
No
like
character.
Yeah, my mom like did everything. Now, me and my
Mm-mm.
brother would do like put the dishes in the dishwasher sometimes and like put them away. That was really the extent.
Bro, that's a loose chore over
fucking.
there.
We have like Rottermore's zero turns. My parents don't got a ton of land, but they got like 3 acres, so they got some land of grass to cut. And one of the character builders were we were gonna only use the push mower. Me and my brothers. It got to the point where it's like, nigga, like this is crazy. We got four wheelers. We done had dirt bikes. At one point, I had a fucking license. Like I can drive the zero turn. I can drive the regular lawnmower. And my dad was always on some. It's gonna build character. I'm like, no, you're just wasting my time. Like, there's a quicker way to do this. Another one was I had to like detail my mom's car every weekend. It was like one of
What?
like inside outside clean, the rims, dust it off, polish
Wow.
it, all that shit. And my dad would always be like, "This is gonna come in handy if you ever work at a car dealership." Nigga, I'm not. That is not in the cards. Like, what the fuck?
Wow, that's a good chore to make my future kids do.
No, like it is a heinous chore for real. Like, but your car always gonna look spotless.
Yeah, I
Yo,
like
every
that.
weekend? God
Every weekend.
damn.
I was getting called back out some days for like doing a bullshit job. And that's what I learned early at like 9 or 10. Like, just do it right the first time so I don't gotta do it twice.
But
That builds
like if you're
character.
doing it every
It
week,
was a
at
lesson.
least it probably wasn't bad.
You said what?
It probably wasn't super bad. Like it probably wasn't I mean, you probably had to do it the right
Nah.
way, but it probably wasn't a lot to do.
Oh yeah, nothing too crazy at that point.
No, fucking Van was like, listen, I've just been on some bullshit at school. I'm just taking a full bag of chips and throwing it all around there right
And
before he has
stomp
to go
on
clean
them.
it. Yeah.
Nigga, that would be fucking crazy. But yeah, one of the worst, two of the worst chores out. So
Yeah, cutting grass, especially because I mean, we didn't have as nearly as much lawn, but we had that hill in my backyard,
oh
brother, pushing that shit.
yeah. And if I'm being 100% honest, knowing now what I do know, like the price to get your grass cut on like a 2 week basis, like 75 dollars today. So it was probably 20, 30 back then. Nigga, I use my it got to the point where I got a license. I used to ask my mom, like, I had a job, I had a license. I will take your car to get it washed in detail. She's like, nah, don't want you driving it. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, I got shit to do.
How so when you started detailing from when and when did this stop?
Probably from 10, probably 9 or 10. I'd probably say 9 or 10, and then it stopped when I left for college. Because once I left for college, I was like, yeah, y'all cannot tell me shit. Like, do not try to tell me shit. I'll never
God damn.
push another lawnmower on this yard if I ever see the light of day again.
Yeah. I mean, I can get it a little bit. Like, if you want to just teach them, like, I don't know, man, spin zone it, like responsibility or like doing things the right way. But like, you also should teach your kids to work smarter, not harder. So if you have like good lawnmowers to make things done quicker, that's what you should let your fucking kids do, as long as you don't think they're a hazard out there.
Yeah, big on the work smarter, not harder. And I do think, like, as parents, at some point, you do have to let them know that, like, kind of you make the rules, blah, 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 fucking whatever. But at the same point, like, if it can be if it can be done faster, I'd like to think I'm gonna let them go the faster route. The only problem is like the alternative is I now don't have this nigga in my face bugging me for a few hours if I make him do it the longer way. So that's probably the benefit.
Mm, that's good. Didn't think about that aspect of it.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. Van was a genius for that though. Getting your car clean every week.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
not
like
like
that.
she
Definitely
definitely
feel
owes me
that.
some bread for that. Like she came up off me.
You might have to hit her with a little back pay, hit her a little invoice one day.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else got anything before we wrap it up? Cool. Let's hit some music and TV recommendations.
For TV, I'm gonna go Trauma by Fabio Foreign and Lil TJ. TV, I'm gonna go The Diplomat if y'all haven't seen it. That shit is great. I think it's like Emmy or Oscar nominated. Good.
Mm, God. I watched this crazy ass movie called Like Dogs, and there was a lot of plot twists in it. That was pretty good. As far as music, I haven't listened to shit. Like the only thing that is in my head are the lo-fi tunes that play on repeat all day at work. That's all I've been listening to the past
All right.
week.
I got you with that. Music wise, I'm gonna go with a little bit of a throwback. Me and Your Mama, Childish Gambino. That came on randomly on a playlist, and I was like, "Damn, still a great song." TV wise, was catching up on Moonshiners yesterday. Forgot how great of a show that is.
Mozart's
Yeah,
was good.
catching up on that. With that being said, we're gonna wrap this thing up. So you can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Porch Talk No A. Leave us an Apple Podcast. Leave us on Spotify. You can watch the podcast on Spotify and YouTube. Share the podcast with a friend. We'll be back next week. Peace.